Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, or maybe you can't even tell, but I rearranged some things in my filming room. So my background is a little bit different. It's a little bit plain though. So you might see some things changing in the next couple of videos. I kind of want to add a couple decorations back here to make it look a little cuter, a little more fun. So that will be probably in the next couple videos or so. But for today, we are actually going to be reviewing two blushes, cream blushes actually, or putty, cream and putty. So it is going to be the NARS Air Matte Blush and the E.L.F putty blush. So I decided to compare these because both of them are fairly new and both of them have been getting raved about like crazy. Like I feel like I've seen and heard so many people trying and using both of these, me included. So I thought it would be fun to do a little drugstore versus, I don't know if you'd consider this high-end, but kind of higher end blush. And we can see which one is better, which one is more worth your money, all that good stuff. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. Before we get into it, please make sure to give this a huge thumbs up for me and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you love these kinds of videos or just anything that has to do with makeup, you're definitely gonna wanna subscribe, so make sure to do that. But if you wanna see my comparison between the NARS Air Matte Blush and the E.L.F putty blush, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay guys, I am so excited to get into this because I have tried both of these blushes and I really like both, like a lot. You guys know my love for cream products, so this was a video that I just had to do. So before I get into actually applying, I already applied the rest of my makeup. Literally the last thing I have to do is apply this because I've been really into just like mainly doing cream products on my face again lately just because it's so cold and my skin's been so dry and I just need to bring it back to life. I don't want to make it even more dry with all the powders, so I've been really into creams, just a little powder under my eyes. So this would probably be my second to last step, just adding maybe like a liquid highlighter on top of the blush. But like I said, I really loved both of these when I tried them. I've been using both of them since I purchased them. I don't know exactly how long it's been. But the price point between these two is quite different. So the E.L.F putty blush goes for $6, which is so crazy. That's such a good price for a product that's as good as this is. So I was really happy about only having to pay $6 and the fact that I love this. And then the NARS Air Matte is $30. So that's like a $24 difference, which is a pretty big difference if you ask me, but this one is also really good, so I don't know what I would like more. Basically, this one I have in the shade Orgasm, like the OG NARS shade, and it's that really beautiful pinky blush with gold reflex in it. And then my E.L.F putty blush I have in the shade Turks Caicos. So it's pretty similar actually to the NARS Orgasm. This one's just a little bit more peachy. This one has a more pink undertone to it, but it's fine. I feel like they're pretty similar. I absolutely love the color of both. I think before I actually apply to my skin, I want to do a little swatch on my hand for you guys so you can see what they look like right next to each other. So I'm gonna swatch the NARS first. I absolutely love how the NARS one feels. It literally feels like a mousse. It's so soft, so buttery, so pretty. So I'm gonna just get this one on the back of my hand a little bit. There's that. And then the putty blush. This one is more like a balm. Like the NARS Air Matte is more like a mousse. and then the putty one feels more like a balm kind of. So they're similar but different. Like they definitely have their differences as well. So here's what they look like right next to each other. So you could definitely tell, of course, this one is a little bit more on the pinky side than this one. I feel like just from a swatch on my hand, just right off the bat, the E.L.F. putty one went on more smooth. Like I felt like the NARS Air Matte one went on, I don't want to say patchier, but I had to blend it out a little bit more to get it to be like this nice, even line. It came off like more pigmented in some places than it did in others, so I had to like work it in a little bit more. I feel like the balm texture just went on a little bit more smooth. And another thing I'll say is the E.L.F. side dried down quicker than the NARS side, which isn't necessarily a really bad or a really good thing, but I just had to point that out. Like I'm touching the E.L.F. side and it's totally dry, but when I touch the NARS side, I can still feel it coming off on my finger and kind of spreading out more. So that is just something to note as well. Another thing I want to point out is that the NARS one is $30 and it has 6 grams in this. And then the E.L.F. one is 10 grams. So it's bigger and it's like $24 less expensive. But I do love, love, love the NARS packaging. I have to say I like the packaging of the NARS more. Obviously it's more expensive, so the packaging is more well done. Like the E.L.F. packaging, of course, just feels cheaper. Not to say that's a bad thing, but it definitely feels cheaper, which of course, because it's $6 and this is $30, so I would hope the packaging on this is way better. But I think that's pretty much all I could think of to say before applying them. So let's start applying to my face and see what I like better. I'm gonna be applying both with a beauty blender because that has been my go-to for applying cream products on my face. I just love how flawless it always looks when I do it this way. So we are going to be using a beauty blender for both. I think I'm just gonna dip my beauty blender into each one and then just pat onto my face and we will compare. All right, so I think I wanna start with the NARS. Maybe I'll do NARS on this side and then E.L.F. on this side. So let's see what we're working with. I'm gonna dip this in here. How beautiful does that look, you guys? This is so pretty. And the camera isn't picking it up as well as I'm seeing it in person, but the color payoff that comes off is so stunning. Like it's not crazy. I didn't have to be super careful about getting just like the tiniest little bit on here and then getting it onto my cheek. I feel like I dipped my brush in there a nice amount and it still came out really natural looking, but it's giving me such a beautiful flush, and the gold reflex that are in there just make it really pop. Like it gives me that nice glow to my cheek as well, so I don't necessarily need a highlighter on top of there if I really don't want to do that extra step. This is giving me that natural highlight kind of look. So there's that. I absolutely love it, of course. But next I want to dip into the E.L.F. on this side and see what I like better, who the winner is. So let's get into it. There we have it on this side. You can see I have my E.L.F. Putty Blush. I really, really love this one too. I love how easily this is applied, and I honestly love how big the pot is on here too, because I feel like it's the perfect size to dip your beauty blender in. Like literally look at this. It gets the bottom of it perfectly. You just dip a couple times, pat on your cheeks, and it's perfect. This one doesn't give you that extra glow that this one does. Like you can see this cheek is just glowing, and this one is a little bit more matted down. But I really love this side too because it's not completely matte. It's giving me a kind of, I want to say filter effect, because it looks more matted down than this side does, but it almost is making my skin look airbrushed on this side. It's not too matte. It doesn't look like it's drying on my skin at all. It's just really, really beautiful. And you can see when I put both on my cheeks, I feel like they're more similar in color than when you're looking at them like this. I really like that neither of them accentuated my pores at all, which is super, super important to me because I have pretty big pores, especially around this area, and neither of them really made that stand out at all, which I appreciate, especially with cream products. And I want to say that the E.L.F blush, I feel like, is a little bit more pigmented. Like, I almost feel like I dipped into here a little bit less than I did into the NARS one to get the amount of pigment that I did on my cheeks. And I feel like this side is just popping a little bit more than this side is. Not to say that that's a good or a bad thing. I just feel like you're saving more product with this because you don't have to use as much to get the color payoff that you're getting, versus on this side I felt like I was dipping in a couple more times than I was on the other side, and you get less product in here. So that's just something to be aware of. So here is the E.L.F side. And then here is the NARS side. So go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you guys think is the better side. What's the winner? What color you liked more? What color payoff you liked more? Just in general, what you think you would prefer, because I'm curious to see what you guys think looks nicer. I honestly have to think about it for a minute because, like I said, I've used both and I really love both. And seeing them right next to each other honestly didn't help the cause so much because they both look absolutely stunning. The only thing I will say, when I touch my skin on both sides, this side feels a little bit more dry than this side does. Just like I said when I swatched them, this side just feels like it dried down quicker than this one did. To be totally transparent with you guys, I feel like I've been reaching for the E.L.F blush more than I have for the NARS, just because I really love the color that this gives me, and I love how it feels on my skin. The color payoff, like the amount of pigment that you get from this is really crazy, and I just love how big this pan is. Like I was saying earlier, it's so easy to just dip your beauty blender in there really quick, pat it on, and you're good to go. So I really, really love that. And I know I said earlier that they can't really pass as dupes for each other, but I honestly kind of take that back. Like, I genuinely feel like you could wear this and say you're wearing this and people would just believe it, because I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but I think they look very similar. I just feel like after blending both sides out, I almost feel like this side looks just a little bit more natural. Like, I feel like this side looks more melted in with all of the other products that I'm wearing on my face, whereas this side, it still looks very, very blended in and beautiful, but you can almost kind of tell just a tiny, 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 tiny bit where the blush was. This side, it's just like it totally just, like it's my skin. So, I don't know. I want to say, just looking at both sides, that I like the NARS just a teensy weensy bit better, just for that reason of literally melting in with everything else and just looking really seamless. But this side also looks so beautiful, and I've been reaching for this more than I have for my NARS. So there's things to love about both. And like I said, with both, they're so similar because they look very similar, but they're so different in their own little ways too. So I feel like you can't go wrong with either one. I just feel like this one is more practical because it's $6 and you get such a beautiful outcome with it. It's so easy to use, it dries down quickly, it's just amazing, and I'm probably gonna buy this in every other color because $6 is a steal for such a good product. And this absolutely stunning too. I love how easy it is to use. I love the feeling of the mousse. It just feels really nice and soft on your skin, and it gives you that stunning, stunning glow. So I honestly think if I was telling someone which one to get, I don't know. I really like both. Like I said, this one just looks a tiny, tiny, tiny bit prettier on my cheek compared to this one, but both of them are really good. I honestly feel like you could use either one. Like this is definitely, I would consider a dupe for this. I feel like if I were doing a night out and I had to choose the blush that I think would make my skin look the absolute best, the most airbrushed, the most stunning, the most everything, I'd probably go with the NARS just because it's giving me a really natural airbrush kind of look. And then this would probably be my everyday one that I'd be using on a day-to-day basis because it's $6 and because it dries down so quick. I know the mask that I wear is not gonna mess it up. So this would be my everyday, the E.L.F, sorry. And then this would be like my special occasion blush, if that makes sense. So both of them are absolutely amazing. I think that's all I have to say about both of them though. Comment down below, like I said, and let me know if you guys noticed any differences or any similarities between the two and which one you preferred on me, or if you've tried both on you. I want to know your thoughts. I'm sure other people want to know your thoughts too, so comment and let me know what you guys think. Please make sure to give this video a huge, huge thumbs up for me if you haven't, and subscribe to my channel. We talk about makeup, we test new makeup, we talk about self-tanner, we talk about fashion. If you love that, make sure to subscribe, but stay tuned and I will see you guys in the next video.